Hello, everyone. My name is Awa, and today I'm going to be helping some online people answer their questions. Specifically today, for Age of Mythology players, I'm going to be helping them with the meter questions. So the first question is from Steam Community discussion forums, and there was an answer, but he wasn't a confident answer. He said he thought that it works a certain way, but he has no confirmation, so hopefully I'll be the confirmation today. So the question asks, what happens when you use Phone's power in sudden death? That's a really good question because in sudden death, if you lose your town center, it's over. But as we know, Phone's power is to destroy all your town centers in exchange for power. So this nice netizen here has said that they think it removes half the HP. I actually haven't heard of that because I remember on launch, Demetrius powers would just cause you to lose in sudden death. But maybe they tweaked that recently, one of the changes, I'm not sure. But why be not sure when I can just go ahead and test it out myself? And yeah, that's crazy. It really does remove half the HP now. So you cast it, you can get your villagers to just repair it. Oh, and it also means if you have a wonder or something, you can recast it before the previous one is even over. This might be a strat that goes hard for all three sudden death players. Wait, hold on. Actually, can I destroy my Citadel Center by casting it a bunch of times? I wonder. So I'm gonna speed up my game and cast it as many times as possible and see what happens. I'm realizing now that it doesn't take half the total HP, it takes half of what HP is currently available. So that's really interesting. So yeah, if you're in a situation where your Citadel Center is already one shot to any siege unit, you got nothing to lose. Go ahead and cast it and get that power boost. Yeah, this is actually kind of crazy. If you have a wonder, you can just cast it a few times before going ahead and repairing it. So I'm making my way towards 1 health here. I wonder if it'll actually break at 1 health or just let you keep spamming it. If you guys are wondering what map this is one of my custom maps from my mod. But we're almost there. And now we're at 1. Moment of truth, will it break? No, it doesn't break. Oh wow. Gonna do it a few more times. I'm not sure if the health points is going to the decimals right now because it just has 1, but it's definitely not breaking. That's actually crazy and an awesome change that Age of Mythology actually did that for such a niche game mode that hardly anyone plays. Really appreciate the devs for that. But let's take this apart further and see what happens if you have 2 Citadel centers and cast a power. So I actually have no friends myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hope one of the Demeter bots pick Ferris phone, and then I'll ally with them using diplomacy mode, help them get an extra town center. Then, as an Egyptian, I'll cast Citadel on them so they have 2 Citadel centers, and then they'll be able to cast their power, and we'll be able to observe what happens when a Demeter player casts their power in sudden death with 2 Citadel centers instead of 1. Because my wondering here is, do they have a special code that identifies which one's the player's starting town center? Or do they just make it apply to all Citadel centers? Alright, I'm a little distracted right here, but you can see that purple has just casted their Underworld Invasion again. So I'm going to go over and check their Citadel Center. And it seems it halves the health of all Citadel Centers owned by the Demeter player. So yeah, it does it to all of them, which is a huge buff to the power in Sudden Death specifically. Rejoice all three Sudden Death players, especially all one of you that played Demeter in Sudden Death. But yeah, that's a huge win for Demeter. So I'm going to reply to this user and answer their question and complete in full. You can see I already answered it earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and answer with the new information we found. And I hope this user has a fantastic day now that their question has been answered. Hey, this is me from the future, and I'm back here at Sudden Death again. And in case you're wondering what happens in Sudden Death when you have 1 Citadel Center and 1 normal town center, the normal town center is treated in the exact same way as the Citadel Center. Honestly, that's crazy. Ferris phone users in Sudden Death are feasting. Let me reiterate again, just in case anyone's lost. This only applies to Sudden Death, not normal gameplay. But yeah, even the Underworld Invasion power doesn't affect normal town centers in Sudden Death if you're playing Demeter. So maybe that's a huge buff for that. Oh yeah, I probably should have started with this, but this is how you select Sudden Death in your games if you're interested in playing Sudden Death online or with Skirmish. But yeah, now we're done with that, and now it's on to Reddit. This Reddit user asks, what happens if 2 sirens attack each other at the same exact time? Another question relating to Ferris phone? No problem, I may be unemployed, but I still bought Demeter to answer these questions for you guys. So we're here in the scenario editor. I loaded up a version of Catallands, and I've placed these 2 sirens right next to each other. I've also made sure that both red and blue are the same age and same major character, since both those affect how strong your siren is. So what I'm saying is I made sure the sirens are exact same stats. And it just looks like they're going at it. That's weird. Why aren't they activating their ability? Is it on cooldown or something? No, it's available. I can use it right now. Yeah, okay, it worked on them. Let me see what happens when they use it on me. So I'm gonna cancel it real quick and have them target me with it and see if I can break free of my siren. So let's go ahead and do that. Are they not gonna use the ability? Is it? Oh, there we go, there we go. No, despite being a siren, it can't break free. It can't use its own ability to break itself free. So in this instance, it's a matter of who comes first. But that's probably not good enough for some of you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and try and see what happens when both of them use the ability at the same time. All right, this is me from the distant future. I tried so many ways to get them to use the ability at the same time, but I couldn't. If you put them as close as possible, then they'll just start meleeing each other by default. But you put them far enough that they can use their ability, it seems the game has some sort of tiebreaker, and I don't know what determines the tiebreaker, but it's consistent. And from my experiments, it's definitely not based on lobby order or anything like that. So I have no clue, honestly. I guess there won't be a situation in which they do it to each other at the same time. Even if they did, wouldn't it just cancel it out because the alluring effect immediately ends as soon as the siren is unable to do so. But yeah, sorry I couldn't answer that one to the fullest. I have no clue. So I am going to give my findings to this Redditor, even though I couldn't answer the question completely, which I deeply apologize for. But I hope this helps and that user has a fantastic night with the knowledge he gained, even if it's not exactly what he was looking for. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I just found it coincidental I found two Demeter questions in a row, both ranked the fairest one, and wanted to answer them as part of a video, because why not? If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave one in the comments and I'll try and answer some of them. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching as usual, and have a great day.